Ethereum Classic at scale is decentralized. Ethereum is centralized. All blockchains, when they start, are centralized. Every system, when it is ideated or first thought, is centralized because it is usually one person or a small team who has the idea and puts it into practice. For example, when Bitcoin was launched in 2009, the only two node operators and miners were Satoshi Nakamoto, the inventor, and Hal Finney, another cypherpunk, who was the only other person running the software. For at least 2 years, Mr. Nakamoto had nearly full control of the software and made changes to it practically unilaterally. As Ethereum ETH and Ethereum Classic ETC were one network when it was launched in 2015, both systems were also centralized when they were conceived and first deployed. All blockchains, when they are small, look centralized. Not only was Bitcoin centralized at the beginning because the inventor was the main driver of the project, maintainer, and decision maker, but also the network itself was small. Bitcoin had very few nodes around the world in the early stages, and they were usually both verifying nodes and miners. The hash rate of the network was small, and the machines creating blocks were mostly home computers and laptops. In the first year or so, ETH and ETC were also small in terms of node operators and hash rate. When blockchains are small, they look centralized because they have few operators, and also, if there are foundations and non-profits supporting them, they give that impression because these institutions have the money to hire core developers and pay for basic infrastructure to move the systems forward. However, what is important is the design. Whether Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Ethereum Classic were centralized at the beginning or they looked centralized when they were small is irrelevant. What is relevant is whether their designs are decentralized when they reach large scales. As most economic systems and many phenomena in nature respond to power law, therefore tend to centralization, in computer science, operating systems and networks usually tend to centralization. Nevertheless, the major invention of Bitcoin was a design that actually guaranteed decentralization, thus censorship resistance, permissionlessness, and trust minimization in a peer-to-peer network. Proof-of-work-based Nakamoto consensus is the only decentralized design. It happens to be that this invention, proof-of-work POW Nakamoto consensus, is the only blockchain design that is decentralized. Blockchains such as Bitcoin and ETC use this consensus mechanism, and this is why they are orders of magnitude more secure, which means that they depend less on trusted third parties at scale than proof-of-stake POS networks such as Ethereum, Cardano, or BNB. Proof-of-work is the only signaling system that enables nodes to independently recognize legitimate blocks and to join the correct chain whenever they wish to disconnect and reconnect, or when they want to join for the first time. All other systems, including Ethereum, need to trust third parties to be able to understand which is the next correct block or the right chain to join. Proof of stake is centralized. For these reasons, proof of stake lacks the decentralization counterforces that proof of work has. Proof of this is that Ethereum has an increasing dependency on trusted third parties, which are the Ethereum Foundation, staking pools, validators, and block builders, and the network is currently more than 70% censored. Proof of stake has many features that makes it centralized, including that it has no objective fork choice method, staking is frictionless, thus has strong economies of scale, and most of the network depends on a few participants to decide which is the next correct block and which is the correct chain to follow. All these features are nearly identical to centralized cloud services. Blockchain mining is decentralized at scale. Some people say that proof of work suffers of the same centralization biases, but this can't be further from the truth. Firstly, Bitcoin has nearly 15 years of operation and has never been centralized. This is enough information for those who follow the pragmatic scientific method of proving things by real-life experiments. Secondly, distribution of electricity generation sources in the world is very dispersed. Therefore, it is not possible for single unified mining operations to have any significant share of the hash rate. And thirdly, if miners were to misbehave in the network, the rest of node operators would be able to split from them by changing the mining algorithm in the system. In proof of stake, this is impossible because the stakers are inside the network. They are not external as miners are in proof of work. Therefore, Ethereum Classic is decentralized at scale. So, some people say that ETC is centralized because it has an institution, the ETC cooperative, who has capital from a donation from an independent investor who hires the core developers. Also because the network has a few hundred economic nodes and hash rate is not yet at the level of Bitcoin. Also because the network has a few hundred economic nodes and hash rate is not yet at the level of Bitcoin. But these are simplistic and limited analysis. In any case, when ETC captures mindshare, because it is the largest truly decentralized smart contracts blockchain in the world, and people and developers realize that all other systems are centralized and managed by special interests, then Ethereum Classic will rise in price and grow in hash rate, and any impressions of centralization will vanish because its core proof-of-work design is decentralized at scale. Thank you for watching this Ethereum Classic video. To learn more about ETC, please go to ethereumclassic.org. Thank you very much.